Did you know that behind every dashboard, recommendation engine, and business insight lies a critical data processing decision? Two competing approaches, ETL and ELT, define how organizations transform raw data into valuable intelligence. Today, we're breaking down why this seemingly small difference in letter order represents a fundamental shift in data engineering. ETL stands for extract, transform, load. ELT stands for extract, load, transform. That tiny letter swap represents a complete reimagining of how data moves through modern systems. In the traditional ETL approach, data is extracted from source systems, immediately transformed on dedicated servers, and then loaded into its final destination. Think of it like a restaurant that fully prepares each ingredient before storing it, chopping, seasoning, and cooking everything before placing it in the refrigerator. The newer ELT approach flips this order. Data is extracted from sources, loaded immediately into storage in its raw form, and transformed only when needed. This is more like a restaurant that stores ingredients in their natural state, preparing them on demand when a specific dish is ordered. This seemingly minor difference creates profound ripple effects across three critical dimensions of data engineering. First, infrastructure requirements. ETL demands powerful transformation servers to process data before storage. These servers need significant upfront investment and must be sized for peak workloads. ELT shifts this burden to storage systems, leveraging cheap cloud storage and on-demand compute resources. The difference can be millions in infrastructure costs for large organizations. Second, data flexibility. ETL forces decisions about transformation upfront. You must know exactly how data will be used before processing it. ELT preserves raw data, allowing multiple transformations for different purposes later. When a financial analyst suddenly needs customer data organized differently than the marketing team, ELT architectures accommodate this without returning to source systems. Third, processing latency. ETL creates clean, transformed data that's immediately usable but requires time before it's available. ELT makes raw data available almost instantly, but requires transformation time when actually used. This latency difference fundamentally changes how organizations approach real-time analytics. What's fascinating is how this shift mirrors broader technology trends. The ETL approach emerged when storage was expensive and compute resources precious. Organizations couldn't afford to store unnecessary data, so they filtered and transformed aggressively. The ELT approach flourished as cloud storage costs plummeted while compute remained relatively expensive. Suddenly, storing everything and transforming on demand became the economical choice. Here's an insight most people miss. The ETL versus ELT decision isn't just technical, it's philosophical. ETL represents a controlled, carefully managed approach to data where quality and structure are enforced early. ELT embraces flexibility, democratizing data access while potentially creating more complexity. Your organization's culture often determines which approach fits better than any technical consideration. The future likely belongs to hybrid approaches. Modern data platforms increasingly blur these boundaries, offering the governance of ETL with the flexibility of ELT. Organizations that understand both paradigms can choose the right approach for each data domain rather than enforcing a single methodology across their entire infrastructure. Whether you're building a data pipeline or evaluating vendor solutions, understanding this fundamental architectural choice will help you create systems that balance cost, flexibility, and performance for your specific needs. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I am a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.